He had a advertisement out of a magazine. 6 periods of my school day, I was in the hall taking 5 pops a day. Between 10 and 11, I catch lunch. His name was George Dingowski. And the victim's family and all that kind of stuff, they aren't getting to see all these people that I killed. And man, my teachers were highly upset with me all the time.
For 2 brothers who grew up without a father, those words had impact.
A grim countdown to ending. Coy Westbrook, a prisoner in the state of Texas who is scheduled to be executed for a slaying spree that took place in the Houston region more than 18 years ago and resulted in the slaying of 5 people, has stated that he is looking forward to his apparent impending end. From a visiting cage outside of Huntsville, Texas's Ending Row, Westbrook stated, "I'm very optimistic they're going to slay me." Huntsville is located in the state of Texas. "Yeah, there ain't no doubt," the person responded. Westbrook, 58, was due to be executed by lethal injection for the slaying rampage that occurred in 1997 during a party at the flat that his ex-wife lived in Channelville, which is located just east of Houston. He stated that the most important aspect of his case was that there were 5 victims, 5 gunshot, 5 bodies, and everybody passed away. You may claim that the matter was settled once it was determined that no one was still alive after the attack. One of the 5 people who were slayed was Westbrook's ex-wife, Gloria Jean Coons, who was 32 years old. Diana Ruth Money, 43, who was Coons' flatmate who passed away in the slaying, along with 3 men, Antonio Cruz, 35, Anthony Ray Rogers, 41, and Kelly Haslip, 28, were the other victims. Westbrook would be the 8th person to be executed for slaying in the United States in 2018, and the 4th person to be executed in Texas, which is the state that executes the most people of any other state in the country. 4 Ending Row inmates have been put to end so far in 2016, including 1 in Alabama, 1 in Florida, and 2 in Georgia. Westbrook's attorney Don Vernay stated that all possible appeals to the courts have been made, and it is not anticipated that any more efforts will be made to save his client.
In 2008, they executed him. A psychologist who was a low-down, low-life psychologist. Well, there's a lot of people that I'd like to see that,
And brought them some measure of peace.
A lot of us up here, we become spiritual people.
Sure, that's natural.
I sleep till about 4:30 in the afternoon. I eat supper. I've got an IQ of 66. That's what I tested at, IQ 66. So it's really, that's kind of messed up in my opinion. I mean, they need to change that. I got my bottom paddled till it turned blue.
Previous appeals brought by Westbrook that were dismissed by the courts centered on arguments that he did not have enough legal representation during the trial, and that an undercover informant was inappropriately exploited to acquire incriminating evidence for his trial. More recently, the courts have rejected Westbrook's claims that he suffers from mental impairment and is therefore works, and tuning into gospel programs broadcast over the radio. After spending the past 17 years on an Ending Row, he is no longer permitted to leave his cell for the 1 hour that is set aside each day for entertainment. In a recent interview with the Houston Chronicle, he stated, "These people here are bad. I consider myself to be a little bit better because I have never been convicted of a crime." In 1995, the man who formerly worked as a security guard and delivery driver wed Coons.
My only question is, now we were talking about this earlier, where in the world did you get the nickname Elvis?
It is not the form of punishment either wished for.
I know he's a murderer, but
I don't go to rec. Well, they tested me. The prosecutors tested me with and he was born in 1951. So
saying he was sorry, meant a lot.
I'm at some peace.
Go back to bed. Go back to sleep. I mean, you don't get as fat as I am just sitting here talking to me. I mean, isn't it obvious that I don't think like everybody else thinks? I mean,
Even though they got a divorce the next year, they continued to see each other and eventually started living together until he moved out in August of 1997. On November 12, 1997, they got together for lunch and discussed getting back together. When he arrived at her flat that evening, he discovered that she was hosting a party at the time. During his 1998 trial for capital slaying, he testified that Coons had humiliated him by having physical contact with two of the other guys while he was there. He said this happened while he was present. Westbrook advised others who were listening from behind bars, "You hear all your life that if you catch your old lady in bed with somebody, don't just shoot her, but shoot her lover too. In the case of her, there was a slew of romantic interests. I have just finished taking care of my responsibilities. I assured her that I wouldn't let her down," he said. "If you continue to push me, I will have no choice but to push back." Westbrook testified that Cruz took the keys to his pickup and joined in with the other guests in making fun of him when he attempted to leave the party. He claimed that he had lost it, went out of the truck, retrieved a .30-06 that he kept in the truck, and then returned, firing one shot at each individual. The last person to perish was Coons. According to the data from the court, all 5 rounds were fired within a period of 40 seconds. Westbrook stated in his testimony that he shot Money when she threw a can of beer at him, then shot Rogers and Cruz as they ran towards him, then shot Coons and Haslip while they were engaging in physical contact. Westbrook was seen exiting the apartment, placing the rifle inside his truck, and then standing quietly by the tailboard of his pickup truck while he waited for the sheriff's officers to come. The neighbors who heard the gunfire and contacted the police observed Westbrook place the rifle inside his truck. He expressed his regret from behind bars, saying, "I'm sorry it happened. However, I'm not going to whine and moan about it here," she said. Later this month, 2 more Texas inmates are scheduled to pass away, followed by another passing away in April.
Alvin was a spiritual person, and we elected him as our spiritual leader. For me, it's, I wake up I killed 5 people. Anybody else would probably say, "Yeah, I deserve to die." Not me. I don't think I deserve to die. And it was an Elvis impersonator eating a 10-foot Subway sandwich.
Family members for Diane Money were also witnesses to Westbrook's execution, but they declined to speak.
It's kind of funny being up here because been here 18 years, nobody's bothered to come up here and see me. Going through my from elementary to high school.
Witness, trial, and conviction. When the neighbor heard gunfire at around 2 in the morning, she ran next door, got her cell phone, saw the bodies, and dialed 911. Westbrook was taken into custody at the scene, and it's unclear if his account is true or not. 2 witnesses reported the incident to 911. The first witness heard Westbrook fire 2 bullets and kick in the door while living above. The neighbor contacted 911, precisely knowing what the sound was, and the dispatcher heard the other 3 rounds while they were on the line. The trial for Westbrook lasted just 11 days, and a verdict was rendered.
And he said, "You're now Elvis."
Before Coy Wayne Westbrook was executed, he said he was sorry for the
lethal injection sentence on August 13, 1998. 2007 saw Westbrook denied a second trial due to his low IQ and the contested testimony of Dr. George Denkowski. On March 9, 2016, Westbrook was put to demise by lethal injection, and at 8:04 p.m. he was declared deceased. His final words before being put to end were, "I'm sorry I can't bring everybody back. I wish a lot of things had turned out differently." Impact on the society. His case sparked a national conversation about domestic violence, the ending penalty, mental health, and the criminal justice system's implications. The narrative highlighted the complexities of domestic relationships and the need for support for individuals trapped in abusive relationships. The legal and ethical debates surrounding the ending penalty were reignited by Westbrook's trial and slaying, with supporters arguing for the most severe punishment and opponents raising concerns about the ethical implications of state-sanctioned slaying. The loss of 5 lives in a single incident served as a stark reminder of the consequences of violent actions on individuals and their families, emphasizing the need for societal support systems. Westbrook's case also influenced discussions about the criminal justice system, raising questions about the role of mental health in criminal behavior and whether emotional distress could be considered a mitigating factor in extreme violence cases. Media coverage played a crucial role in shaping public perceptions of Westbrook and the events surrounding the case, contributing to a broader discourse on crime, punishment, and the factors that lead individuals to commit violent acts.
I don't think I should die because I killed 5 people. Nothing, so I've just been sitting in my cell just deteriorating.
I just didn't see the death penalty being the way.
We're not up here trying to, everything you say is going to go on the air.
I get a date, and all of a sudden, one day I was out in the day room. This is when I used to go to the day room all the time. I've since quit going to the day room. People from years ago that you haven't seen now, he tried to tell me that there was nothing wrong with me when I knew. I've known since I've been 10 years old there was something wrong with me.
We're not going to censor anything. We're not going to cut anything out. So please feel free to talk as free as you want to.
For Rogers and Hughes, Westbrook's execution closes a painful chapter in their lives.
Everybody wants to come see you. All your,
While Westbrook's case did not result in specific legislative changes, it prompted discussions about policy implications, particularly regarding how the legal system handles cases involving domestic violence and the broader implications for public safety. The lessons learned from the Westbrook case continue to shape ongoing conversations about justice, compassion, and the collective responsibility to foster a safer and more understanding society. That's all for this video, folks. See you next time.